who are leading the Premier League right now, but United's in contention. It's a Manchester year. But what's your take on it, Frenchie? What do you see about how this will end result maybe by the end of the season between both clubs?
No.
The good fam, the good thing is we can cut. You're not repeating. We can cut. But yo, the free flow is fine. Yo, I think it's gonna be us three. I got cheese.
Welcome guys, this is Stay Kim. My name is Los Santos. This is Car, Watson, and Ace. Today we're going to cover Champions League matches for Tuesdays.
Game fixtures.
Fixtures.
So the first game we had Tuesday was Man U versus Benfica. Final score was 2-0 Man U. And you take on that game?
They did 4 in the back for a change to be a bit experimental. They could afford to because it was a home advantage. Mm-hmm. So Darmian and Blind were on the full-back roles while we had Smalling and Bailly in the middle. So they gave McTominay some exposure, some playing time. And they put Lingard as a cam, which is a little bizarre for me. Mm-hmm. What's your take on that? Lingard as a cam? I still think you should put him on the wing a bit.
I mean, it works.
It's interesting. They won 2-0.
They
started Martial. They gave him a start.
Yeah.
The goal on the weekend.
Yeah. Although he missed the penalty.
Yeah, he missed penalty.
I think Lukaku should take that all the time.
So we decided to the next penalty to give it to Blind, who scored.
scored?
The first goal was
But
own goal.
Lukaku wanted to take that.
No, he gave it to Mourinho decided. He's like, Blind's gonna take it.
Yeah.
Do you
Lukaku,
he's the main man. He should take it.
He should take it normally.
As a striker, you want to take every penalty.
Yeah,
because it's easy goals, but
of course. On Benfica's side, great midfield, but they just didn't have the attacking support. They've been taking a hit ever since they lost Mitroglou to Marseille. So midfielders led the field in shooting shots from distance. Pizzi, Summers, and Faisa. It's the best they could, but 2-0 stands.
Our next game was 5-0 for PSG versus Anderlecht.
Yes, total domination.
Yeah.
Total domination.
One-way traffic for PSG. You have Neymar dipping from the left wing into a cam roll, so then he leaves a lot of space for Kurzawa and Dani Alves to push up when he's diverting people in the cam area, creating plays, setting passes. Ultimately, what led to the hat-trick for Kurzawa, crosses from Dani Alves, Draxler, who's naturally a left wing, pushing up toward Neymar was, and they're just overloading the flanks and boxes.
Neymar has been doing a lot of that.
A lot,
yeah.
Yeah, and especially since Verratti and Kurzawa are generally goal scorers, it stands out that they've totally annihilated them if those guys are scoring, for sure.
Yeah.
But most of all, Anderlecht, too young and experienced for Champions League. They're like the Ajax of Belgium, They raise players and then big clubs come and purchase their players and they got nothing left. And they even benched their best goal scorer, Teodorsik. 22 goals last season. Nothing though. 5-0 as it stands. That is what it is.
PSG already qualified now for round of 16 also. They've been destroying teams. Probably one of the favorites going into the knockout stage to go to the finals to win.
They're in my top 5 for sure.
Neymar was a good move to go to PSG. He's done pretty well there.
The players, Cavani, you can see the games before. Mbappe.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Mbappe. Yeah. But that game, I think he struggled a little bit.
Who did?
Mbappe in that game. He was trying to do some stuff that.
Trying to do too much.
Yeah, trying to do too much. He struggled in that game.
He's learning though.
Yeah.
He's young.
He's got to get used to it.
Yeah.
So our next game is Bayern versus Celtic. Bayern took the game 2-1. Any thoughts on that game?
It's always a hard place, Celtic Park. It's one of the most intimidated stadiums in the world. So I can see why Bayern were under pressure, but they're also known for being impervious to pressure. They had James Rodriguez as a center forward, typically as a cam, but they've been using him as a center forward this season. He's more than capable of doing both, even as a false 9. I felt Celtic, if they had any sort of chance, they should have started Rogic and Griffith. Rogic, the Australian international, has been crucial in the midfield, has a few goals to his name. Same with Griffiths. But it's nice to see Xavi Martinez on Bayern's side back in the midfield. Normally he's been a center back, but now he's back in the mid. Yeah. Lots of support. Kimmich coming in, a late sub. So underrated, this player. Does so much in the midfield, undisclosed, unsung hero for Bayern Munich, honestly.
They let the ball bounce over the defender's head and straight, no defense. Goalie came out, missed. Coleman went around. It was easy goal for Coleman, around 5 defenders. You saw Xavi Martinez, he scored, I think it was a header. and he was bleeding everywhere. It
Yeah.
was pretty
The
crazy.
warrior, that guy.
The Celtic goal was very nice.
Yeah, the football.
The through ball to
Yeah.
McGregor
Mm-hmm.
was very, very nice. It is always hard to play at Celtic's ground, even though they haven't been doing too well this Champions League. Bayern, have we seen the best of them yet? I don't
No, I
think
wouldn't
so.
say so. Like they're
Yeah,
climbing
I
back
don't think so.
up on the Bundesliga after Dortmund took a lead for a while.
So
But you can see the decline.
Yeah.
in
the
Bayern.
decline there.
Not in my top 5 for champions.
Alright, so
It is what it is.
our next game is an upset, sadly, with Atletico facing Qarabag. The game ended in a draw 1-1.
It was great defending from Qarabag. Like, look, in recent years they've been doing very well. They've been holding out really well, even like wherever they go on the road. They just find a result, whether it be a draw. It's a huge standpoint for Atletico. But not so much creativity from Atletico, particularly from Griezmann. I was a little bit disappointed, but he did assist the goal to Party to score from distance.
Yeah.
Double red cards made it interesting. Savic getting that red, and then that put a man down. And then Enrique, that high foot
Yeah.
from Qarabag, made things even again. But overall, just jittery marking on that Qarabag goal in the box.
Yeah.
Felipe Luis and Savic have to have been more on top. That's it.
And the
I
two
think-
red cards that they got too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
red card on each side.
It wasn't worth it.
It's whatever. It cancels each other out.
Mm.
Qarabag took the league first, so that put pressure on Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid, they just look too. They don't have nothing going forward. They're so defensive team kind of.
Mm.
They try to work on the counterattack, but they have no the playmakers. Griezmann hasn't been himself this season.
Not lately.
I don't know if it's because there's no one around him. There's no real striker
Yeah.
on the team. So it'll be. I think they'll start to do a little bit better when Costa comes back to Atletico Madrid.
I think so.
But by then they could not be in the Champions League. They'll probably be in the Europa League.
Yeah, Gamiro was a bit invisible, but even when Torres came on for him, still nothing.
Alright, moving forward to the next game, we got Roma versus Chelsea.
My favorite.
And the final score was 3-0 for Roma.
And this is hands down goal of the week. El Shaarawy outside foot curve.
Yeah.
You guys can all agree with that. Come on.
Wicked shot.
Wicked shot.
Crazy shot.
Horrible defending and marking from Chelsea. At one point, we had all three center backs, Cahill, Luiz, and Rudiger, on Dzeko on one side, passing to Parati, who Parati had an amazing game.
Like I feel like the Chelsea players, man. I don't know what they ate, but
They weren't-
tired, yeah.
It should have been simple though. If
They weren't hot still.
I know, if Roma's playing a 4-3-3 and they have 3 forwards, those 3 center backs will mark 3 forwards
Yeah.
all over the place. Fabregas literally gassed on the defensive work rate. He said it before, but surprisingly, they want to sign a 4-year deal on him, £220 million a week for the next 4 years when he does resign. I don't know if they should go through with that, but that's what they're thinking. Overall, the CBs have to be quick and not easy to get out of their spaces, because on the contrary, on Roma's side, center backs Jesus and Fazio were really quick, really at top, very attentive, and they should take note of that by example.
You're watching. What do you think about that game?
I think Chelsea's defense was. They seem to be lost out there. I think the fact that Azpilicueta was playing more of a wing-back position doesn't really. It suits. He can play that position, but he's better in the 3 at the back. It gives him more stability because he's one of the best defenders that they have. I think the absence of N'Golo Kanté and also Victor Moses is hurting them a lot. The game could have been a lot different if Pedro finishes his chance in the first 10 seconds. Also, Hazard finishing his chances would have changed the game. But overall, I think it's a game that Chelsea, I don't want to say puts too much emphasis on, but kind of just says, okay, it's a one-off game, we lost, move forward to the next game.
It is a one-off game.
Thing. Not look too much into it, not switch the formation, not get a bit crazy over it. Sometimes it happens, you're just not there for that game. It just go your way.
I'll give faith that obviously they should continue doing through in the back. They've been successful with it. But Rudiger needs to adapt a bit with the man marking, particularly from him. Overall, you were right. Hazard did work the hardest at anybody. That's sad.
But 3 in the back without, because they need Conte.
They do.
Because he is a big
He's
factor.
a big
Big
factor. Defensive factor for them, yeah.
Defensive factor, yeah.
That's
And
right.
also Morata up top. This game he's He's not doing anything that game. He didn't do anything. He's falling down too easily.
Yeah.
So he needs to be able to be more strong. He's a big figure. He needs to be stronger, hold up the play. He's not doing that right now. There's no one really to come off the bench to play for his position. So
Next game we have Sporting versus Juve. Another draw, 1-1.
the way Juve's been playing, particularly in the Champions League, I don't know, it's boring. Like the way they play is boring. Like they have the attack is lifeless. Their defense is terrible.
No one has replaced Bonucci rightfully.
Yeah, they didn't replace
Barzagli.
He's too old. He's done. He's finished.
Barzagli came in because
He's
last
finished.
time. Yeah, he's
They
finished.
need to get rid of him.
Retired,
Man.
yeah.
Just open the door
But
and let him walk out.
they put him over Benatia.
Yeah, I know.
And then Storaro, finally, I'm glad he left because De Siglio just made his second appearance for Juve. And he's been one of the most underrated Italian fullbacks.
Dybala, where's Dybala, man? They said he was going to be the next Messi.
I'm actually
But he's not doing nothing.
I actually focus more on Bernardeschi. I think he's the future. Bernardeschi's an excellent player.
Higuain. He scored, but he misses chances too many.
But you have to give credit to Sporting. They were so good. Gelson Martins, the future of Portugal.
Yeah, Sporting
right
they have a good, solid squad.
Gelson Martins, I've told you about Gelson Martins, man. He's gonna be crucial for the Portuguese national team in the future, and he's been really holding that team together.
He's been linked to a lot of other big clubs
and
too.
they will bid for him more in the next window when he's available. But overall, Sporting defended relatively well. If they converted all their chances, I think they should have scored more and won.
Well, they were leading.
They were.
I think it was about 70-something minute where he scored.
Here's the difference.
They were dominating most of the game.
Yeah. The difference is that I feel like Juventus' late sub did make the difference. Matuidi, Douglas, and Bernardeschi, when they did come.
But their midfield, it's not the same no more. They don't have that. Before they used to have that creative, solid midfield. They don't have it anymore. Like Matuidi, he's good, but he's on the latter stage of his career. Like he's done pretty well there, but he's not.
He started off shaky.
He's not the Matuidi that we used to see at
game.
PSG, you know?
Yeah.
He's not that same Matuidi. He's not the Matuidi Charo. He's not the Charo anymore.
I would have rather Douglas over Mandzukic on the wing to start this game, judging from his performance.
Yeah.
And the only real creative player, if you think of it, in that midfield kind of is Dybala. Apart from that, they don't have creativity much. So they don't create that many chances. And with Higuain up top, you need to create a lot of chances because he's going to miss a lot. But if you give him enough chances, he'll finally put one away. But
So now moving on to the final game of Tuesday. We have Barca versus Olympiakos.
Yeah.
Another draw.
no draw.
Yeah,
probably the boringest match on Tuesday.
It was.
Lifeless, nothing happened. Barcelona you got Messi. You got
Free
you got
roaming,
all these players,
trying
man.
to finish,
They
but
can't
couldn't
score
execute finish.
against Olympiakos.
But yeah. Well, look. Once
Olympiakos.
Well, hold on. Because I'm the Olympiakos fan, so chillax. It's hard to play at Qarabag.
It don't matter. It's Barcelona.
No, it's hard to play there, bro.
Barcelona.
Chelsea had a hard time too.
Just slap Olympiakos, huh?
It was
Just
one-way
slap
traffic.
Olympiakos.
It was one-way traffic in Spain, but things were held down in Greece a lot better. Proto, once again, our biggest stand-up player, our best goalie, our best everything, who was standing out because Fortuna's couldn't convert. Also limited creativity. Our defense is our best part, even if there is a best part about it. But going forward, we don't have much going on. Carcella, not the greatest winger. Ojijo, not the best midfielder. We have nothing going on forward. We reflected on counters and set plays, couldn't deliver anything. Like literally, this Olympiakos team, I'm very not impressed. The team that beat United a couple of years ago, I would love to see that team go against Olympiakos because that team would have gave.
But the problem is that's a couple of years ago. We're talking about today's team.
But today,
we're not talking about past.
I can honestly say, as an Olympiakos fan, I'm not impressed with this squad. They took a lot of them from Anderlecht, actually. That's the funny part. Proto came from Anderlecht. That's the only good Anderlecht acquisition. Let's see some better farming, guys.
Yeah.
Come on, Anderlecht.
And Suarez this year hasn't been his usual. He's not scoring that many goals.
No.
Messi's been on fire, so it's surprising that he didn't score a goal that game. But
if there's two things I should say, you guys thought Barca wouldn't be doing as good as they are now, and they are.
Yeah, they surprised me.
The second thing.
They surprised me. Paulinho surprised me.
There you go, Paulinho. These guys thought Paulinho wouldn't do well. He's come from China, let's competitive league. You don't lose world talent like that.
He's only scored 3 goals, huh?
He's a midfielder. Give the guy a break.
He scored 3 goals, huh?
That run that he did,
He's good.
Nice.
He's good. He's good. Paulinho's doing his job. That's all that matters. He didn't lose talent for going to
40
China.
million, Paulinho?
I say he's surprised. He's surprised me too.
Surprised me too.
I thought he's gonna do it.
But I still think Barcelona is lacking a lot of things, especially in the midfield. Because a midfield of Busquets and Paulinho. Is that really world class, man?
No,
I think it's
yeah.
world class. I think it's world class.
It's like the I say probably like.
Man, you used to see Iniesta, Xavi in the midfield
Yeah.
compared to Paulinho, Busquets.
Like defensive wise,
That's okay.
is good.
Because Busquets is more defensive, but going forward, Busquets doesn't really go forward.
Yeah,
that
he
much.
doesn't even go forward.
So all you have is Paulinho going forward in the midfield.
Yeah.
So
But he's doing a good job going forward. You should have seen the opportunities he had on goal.
Yeah.
It could have.
yeah, but
he had missed.
Denny
But
Suarez and
once again,
Roberto on the
no,
wings.
no execution finish.
Come on,
Yeah,
man. Denny
seriously.
Suarez and Roberto on the wings. That's not that much going forward. You have Messi, Suarez, and Suarez is not doing anything, man.
Prochain.
And
The end of the episode. Take aim. Tuesday match fixtures for Champions League.
Take aim for the next Wednesday fixture.
Take aim for the next episode.
Yeah. So
Click
this
the
is
like
what I
button,
Subscribe
comment,
if you like the
subscribe. You gotta subscribe, man, and click the bell icon.
man.
Bell icon, so you know when you get the videos right away.
Let me do the ending. Man.
And I'll pass it
guys.
to Los Santos. Got a little bit more to add to the end.
And I got none to add, but all I gotta add, this is Take Him. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, tell a friend, another friend,
C'est
This
la
is
vie.
Take Him.
C'est la vie.